You know how many I give, Jason?
Whoa.
0.
Jeez, are you sure about that?
No, I give way too many.
Thought. So this video is made for you?
That's correct. Just gonna be honest here. I made this video for myself to rewatch in the future, and it is on how to give 0 forks, aka how to care less what people think of you. To be clear, before we get started, there are times when caring what people think is actually really important. Things like customer feedback and what they think about your product, or when friends lovingly point out some concern or some behavior that you need to change, or when people offer constructive criticism about gaps in your perspective. Those are all excellent
A couple forks to give.
Couple forks that you need to give. Great. However, as an entrepreneur, there are going to be many times when the judgments and the opinions of others will attempt to hold you back.
I hope this book exists because it seems like a good one.
So let's say you want to start an online business, but your family questions your career path.
We have all been there.
Judgments. Let's say you want to start posting promotional content on social media, but you're afraid that your friends or even strangers will call you cringe. Or let's even say the occasional customer email comes through and it is very disproportionately negative, but you decide that you're going to actually believe that feedback and you're going to completely question your offer. In fact, this last one hits a little bit too close to home because there was an email that I got after releasing my first online course ever, and I still will never forget this email.
I remember when it came through.
I went back into the catacombs and I pulled it out. And right off the bat, this person says, "This course is a fraud."
Wow.
Multiple exclamation
Not a nice
points.
email to get.
Right, and they're just basically demolishing it, saying, the girl talks for minutes with the same page. It's me. You're sending the email to me, the girl.
Who are you sending this to? Are you submitting this for some investigatory journalism?
Inadmissible for a designer, not visual at all, completely false. And I really think I should receive a refund. This person did actually get their refund. But the point is, this made me sad, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I completely was like, am I rethinking everything? Should I never make an online course again? And then Jason was quick to point out to me that my Better Lettering course, the course in question, well, to this date, it has had over 6,500 students and has made over $90,000.
By the date of that comment, it was at least 1,000 customers.
And all of these positive messages, I've never received another message like that one accusing my course of being a fraud. In fact, my favorite one is at the end here. Very well done. And you know, it's a bit of a bargain at $20. It was a $20 online course. The point is, there are going to be times as an entrepreneur when people's opinions are going to try to shake you, but you have to move forward anyway, which is why we have 8 reminders to help you give
less forks.
Not 0.
Probably more
let's be
realistic,
honest.
less.
Just less. First reminder is that people are always more focused on themselves than on you. Sometimes it can feel like all eyes are paying attention to you. Everyone's reading every word of your email and what's going on with your business.
I hate it when frogs and ghosts and penguins and rabbits are looking at me.
They're
it's
all
tough.
focused. But the truth is, that's how everyone feels. Everyone feels like they're the center of the universe and everyone's paying attention to them. And it's just not true. So something that I try doing is I practice visualizing whatever the quantity of people paying attention to me is in my head. And then I just divide that by 100 because our brains have a habit of amplifying it by 100. This is also helpful when we go out to, like, let's say party with someone and I worry about what I'm wearing, whether I'm going to be too dressy or not dressy enough. And after we're done, I try to remember what anyone else was wearing at the party.
Exactly.
And I cannot think of a single other person and what they were wearing. Reminder number 2, if someone is judging your choices, it's based on their values filter, not yours. This is very important and something I go back to often in my brain. So let's say your best friend really values security and predictability above everything else, and they have this awesome 9-to-5 corporate job and they absolutely love it. They love the paycheck, they love the predictability. But of course, they're going to see your entrepreneurial leap as potentially a big mistake, right? Because that's what they value, and that's not what you value. I like to think of this like watching a movie through sunglasses and saying, wow, this movie's way too
Bold
dark.
choice.
The thing is, the lens that you're seeing the movie through is an unintended lens, so of course it's going to be way too dark. So the thing here is, let people judge you on their values. That's totally up to them. They're grading you on a scale that isn't yours. If someone wants to give me an F in my corporate ladder, my ability to navigate the corporate ladder, I will take that F. Reminder number 3, sometimes you're going to trigger things in other people and it has nothing to do with you. It's hard to discern that sometimes, but it's true and it's worth remembering. So when people are being unnecessarily nasty, I'm talking about the comments that just seem so over the top and you're wondering what is happening. It's worth taking a pause to shift into empathy and to really be generous in your assumptions about what that person might be going through that would lead them to leave such a nasty comment. Now, that doesn't excuse that kind of judgment or any harshness or especially hate, doesn't excuse it, But sometimes it can actually help that soften the blow a bit and just realize that something is going on with them and it's not about you at all. Moving on to reminder number 4, investigate where your need for approval comes from. Now, this one's more about taking responsibility for your emotions, because for me personally, when I get triggered by criticism, sometimes it's actually not about them, it's about me and my wounds. So the shoe goes the other way as well. Sometimes it's about them, but sometimes it is about me. So it might be something like, I don't like the way that you did this, a very innocuous comment. And in my brain, because of my wounds, my history, my past, I can sometimes interpret that as, oh, this was a bad decision, which can very quickly spiral into, you are a bad person. And it's helpful to recognize when that slide is happening so that whatever disproportionate emotional reaction you're having, you can trace it back to going, now, was this comment actually what this person was saying, or is this more about my emotional wounds? And the remedy for that is just to give yourself space and time to emotionally regulate. So some deep breaths, some time, just whenever I notice myself getting worked up by a comment, I know I need to take some deep breaths, I need to meditate, and I need some space and time to just let myself come down from that reaction.
Do you ever just pop on some baseball, eat some popcorn, just to relax?
That's actually one of my mental health routines.
That's what I thought. That's why I thought you'd pick this, Jiff.
Yeah.
Reminder number 5 is to ask yourself if the person offering you advice or judgment has done what you're doing. My good friend Paul Jarvis made this very crystal clear in my mind when he said that no one who has ever written a book has ever left a negative comment for another author on their book.
True.
And this blew my mind because I was like, oh, you're right. Like, no author would ever do that to another author because they know what it takes to write a book. So it's not going to be someone who's done what you're trying to do.
So yeah, like Jason said, you just want to investigate the source of the criticism is the point here. So if they haven't done what you're doing or aren't taking the same heat for it, be careful about what feedback you actually take in. That doesn't mean that all people who have ideas about books or opinions about books are invalidated. Certainly not. It just means how much you let that penetrate your heart. Be mindful of where that criticism is coming from and if someone has actually gone through the full context of the experience that you have as well. Reminder number 6, the greatest gift that you can give this world is the gift of being yourself. This is something that I try to go back to, which is the world needs the unique thing that you have. So don't let short-lived judgment get in the way of that. Don't let the opinions of others dim your light. Because, for example, if your family thinks that you should be a doctor and you actually hate that and you don't have any passion for that, but you want to be a teacher, what a shame to go down a path of being a doctor because the world actually needs your passion for teaching. From a selfless view, from a what the world needs of you view, if you're that type of person who really feels like you have a calling, bring yourself back to this where you remember that being truly yourself is the greatest gift you can give to others around you. The flip side of that is our reminder number 7, which is the greatest gift that you can receive in this lifetime is the gift of being seen for your true self. So this is through a different lens. It's through your experience of being here on this planet. It is better to be hated for what you are than to be loved for what you are not. And if you being you leads to criticism and it's something that you can't change or you don't want to change about yourself, then your desire to be free has to outweigh your desire to be liked.
The last reminder here, life is short. Do you really want to live according to someone else's rules? We will never forget a quote that we learned in 2013 from our friend AJ Leon, which is, this is not your practice life. So this is the life that you get. Live it the way that you want to and try not to let everyone else's forks that they're trying to give you get in the way of living your life.
Those are 8 reminders, and just to finish things up here, this is kind of our steps for taking in criticism. First thing you want to do is pause, especially if you have that disproportionate emotional reaction. Then you want to investigate what is the source of that criticism. Are they in the arena? Do you feel like there's validity in what's being said?
Fraud?
Am I actually a fraud?
Not. Yeah.
I'm not. Then you want to sort that feedback. Okay, is this something I'm actually going to take in once you investigate it, or is this something that I'm going to let go? If you decide it's something you do want to take in and actually act on, that's what you're going to do. You're going to make changes or, take that constructive criticism that you do want to take in and actually apply it moving forward. And then the last thing is you have to move on. You're not going to ruminate on it. You're not going to let it make you a bad person. You're going to take the next step forward and keep going on your entrepreneurial journey. Thanks for watching our Calm Business Encyclopedia series, your A to Z guide for running a business that's predictable, profitable, and peaceful. If you want to find out how calm your business currently is, take our Calm Business quiz over at wanderingaimfully.com/score and get personalized ideas on how to reduce the chaos, stop scrambling for income, and end the cycle of burnout once and for all.
Calm Biz Quiz.